This is Dana Schoonover of Never a Wallflower. I'm the owner and designer, and this is my style guide. To give you a little background about Never a Wallflower, I don't have a background in design or a degree in design. My degree is in marketing, and for 15 years before I started Never a Wallflower, I sold insulin to endocrinologists and cardiologists outside Chicago and in Atlanta. And I'll try to make a long story short, but I have 3 little boys, and in 2012, my family and I we're moving to Denver. My husband works for DaVita, and we were moving the family across country, and after 15 years of doing pretty difficult work and with a really large territory, I found that having 3 children under 5 and a very, very large sales territory was just more, it was just not sustainable for me. And so when we moved to Denver, I took a couple of years off and really got my family settled. My oldest was going to kindergarten, so that was a big transition for us. And I really focused on learning what I wanted to do with the rest of my life, and tried to, do a lot of soul searching and figure out what made me want to jump out of bed on Monday morning, because isn't that a dream? And so for a while I did women's accessories, and I would sell them to at little shows around Denver, and little handmade markets like Horseshoe Market and Sweet William and those types of venues. And I was approaching a big birthday and one year, and a couple of years in actually, and so I decided that if I didn't really chase my true dream, which was designing a women's clothing brand, because I was so scared to do it, if I didn't do it just because I was scared, I would never forgive myself. And so this past season was our 3rd fall. We're going into our 4th spring collection, and I absolutely adore it. I cannot wait to start in the morning, and it's hard for me to finish up in the evening. So Never a Wallflower came out of that desire to really create something new and fresh, and really reflects. I think that if you take a look at the brand, you'll see that it reflects my Southern upbringing. There's a lot of color and pattern in the brand, and there will always be those things. Some of our prints that are coming up this fall will actually have some of my painting in it, and so it's just we love that playfulness of the brand. I've also lived on the West Coast, so I've lived in LA, and I've lived in Chicago, in Baltimore, so I've lived around the country. So with my brand Never a Wallflower, you'll see that it really is a feminine brand, but feminine and Southern skewed with an edge. And I think that really reflects almost the way Denver is working, and the way you're seeing so many people come into Denver, and the aesthetic is changing little by little, from a Western town of, a decade ago to becoming a very cosmopolitan city. But it's really an interesting dynamic, because you have this background of this cowboy spirit and this entrepreneurial spirit in Denver, which I truly believe is one of the main reasons I had enough courage to build my own brand. Because in this city, you will see so many people truly living their dreams and being entrepreneurs, and there's very much that spirit. But you're seeing a lot of people move into Denver from all over the country, and so I think it's just such an interesting dynamic here, and that has definitely influenced the brand as well.